So obviously, big challenge here with South Florida. They have put up a significant amount of points on everyone. North Texas well, and they scored 63 on them. What can you talk about the challenge you faced this Saturday?
Yeah, obviously, it's an explosive offense. It's a major challenge defensively for us. We get that. We understand that. We know that. And that's obviously what we signed up for. Tremendous scheme. They go really fast. They've upgraded at several positions, and they've brought guys back that were really good players previously for them. So I think they've got a nice mix for what they're able to do. They're able to run the ball. They're able to throw the ball. They're able to play a lot of people. They go fast tempo wise. They're really efficient offensively. So we get it. It's a major challenge for us, but that's obviously that's what we signed up for here when we chose the United States Naval Academy.
When you got a dual threat guy like Byron Brown who can take off and run at any time, they have a lot of design runs, yet he is also a downfield passing threat. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be aware of where he's at all times. And he is Wags. I mean, he's a guy that can throw the ball all over the field, extremely strong arm, and accurate passer. And he's great in the scramble drill. And then, you see, you watch the tape. I mean, they run him a significant amount in quarterback designed runs, and he's a tank, man. He's 200 and listed at 232, 236, something along those lines, and plays every bit of that, if not more. So he's a guy, obviously, you got to be extremely aware of, and you got to be prepared for. And we've got to be when we get the opportunity to get him on the ground, we got to do a great job getting him on the ground, getting gold hats to the football, and playing physical defense.
Is Brown the type of quarterback that you put a spy on, and have you seen other opponents of South Florida do that to try to contain him?
Yeah, and sometimes people have done that, and they make it challenging with what they do because there's so many good players. You put a spy on him, and they got other weapons and ways to beat you, and how they spread the field and get the ball to their playmakers. So it's probably not as easy as just say, hey, we're going to put a spy on him every play, because they can outnumber you all over the field real quickly if you do that.
Thanks.
Wyatt Opelman.
Coach, with senior day almost here, how has the senior class extended the standards and expectations you and your position coaches on the defensive side of the ball instill?
Yeah, Wyatt, it's senior day around here is a really special deal. It is, been here for a decent amount of time now. These are all guys that I've been in their homes, recruited them, met their parents, and seen them grow and transform from young men into the men and the leaders that they are here today. So it's a really special deal. This class obviously has won a lot of football games in the last 2 years and got Navy football back on the map where we need to be, and really, really proud of this group and each one individually as well. It's a senior day is cool anywhere, but it's extremely special here, and I'm as proud of this group as any group I've ever been a part of.
What's the biggest thing you've learned about this senior class in particular, whether it's how it leads, how it prepares, or whether it brings something special to the locker room?
Yeah, I think in general, this is a group that battles through adversity and steps up to challenges. I've been every piece of adversity that they've come across, they've battled through it without a lack of enthusiasm. Like they really bring it every day, regardless of circumstances or events that have happened. And I think there's a lot to say about the mental toughness of a group that's able to do that. I think that would be the thing that I would say. This is a really resilient bunch, and I'm super proud of them.
When you look at how this defense has evolved since you've taken over as defensive coordinator, how much of that can be credited to the buy-in of those senior veterans who have been vital to driving the success on that side of the ball?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's all about players. It always is. And as coaches, all the success we have is for them, and all the things that don't go the way that you'd like them to go. That's on us. And that's part of it. So I think the buy-in's been sensational from this group, and there's guys that have switched positions and have come in here as with probably thoughts, dreams, and aspirations of being a star somewhere else on the field, and have grown into the position that they're at with a ton of enthusiasm. You think about guys like Adam Clank and Luke Pierce and Kenny McShann and Jackson Campbell, Landon Robinson, like all those guys came in playing different positions, and got moved around to where they really fit outside of Luke, really. But it's a really special bunch, that's for sure.
Thank you.
I appreciate the heck out of those guys, and all the ones I didn't name as well.
Tim Nolan.
PJ, what do you remember most from your senior day at Mount St. Joseph?
And I had a couple sacks my senior day. I was pretty fired up. I didn't get to blitz too often in college, but when I did, I tried to make the most of it. So I think I had 2 or 3 sacks my senior day, and our senior day was a big rivalry game between Mount St. Joe and Thomas More College, which was right across the river in northern Kentucky. It's called the Bridge Bowl. So we got a big win that day, and I was on top of the world, man.
You've also said in the past how well that Coach Newberry looks out for the coaching staff and their families. This past weekend, got a chance to take your wives to South Bend. What was that trip like?
Yeah, unfortunately, my wife wasn't able to go. My kids had a couple things going on that we couldn't get out of, and then she was going to run that race over the Bay Bridge race, but it got canceled because of the inclement weather when we got back here. But I, just judging from seeing everybody else and their wives there in South Bend, it's always special. This is the first one she wasn't able to make it, but it's always special to go on the road. And football is such a family operation. And my wife and I, we talk about it all the time. Like, you're away from like your blood family, but the people that you work with, you become really close with them, and they become your family. So when you need a babysitter, or you need a date night, and you need a babysitter, or you're having birthday parties for your kids, or special events and things like that, like all the coaching staff gets all together to be able to do those things. So it's those opportunities, like the wives trip and birthday parties and all those stuff, they're really, really special to him. And I could tell from all the looks on everybody's faces, they were excited about being there.
This is now your 7th senior day as a coach here at Navy, but how do you make it special for each class? Because for them, they only get one shot at it. They only get one senior day. How do you appreciate the moment and make sure that they take full advantage?
Yeah, I mean, we honor those guys a couple different ways. This board behind me right here, so all the seniors that have, and I know it's a little hard to see, but all the seniors that have played linebacker here since I've been here, they sign that board. They give their thoughts to the entire linebacking core in Thursday's meeting before we go out on the field. That's really important to me. Coach always has, all the seniors have an opportunity to stand up and speak to all their classmates and all their teammates, the night before the game. And I think just giving guys the forum, giving guys the opportunity to address, their peers. I think that's really strong, and you don't get that every place. It's really the first place I've ever seen it. done the way that it's done, and just the growth that occurs from when guys show up here on I Day to Senior Day. It's exponential, Tim. I mean, it is a sight to be seen, and you get pretty emotional as a coach because you just see the growth of each kid, and that's ultimately, what we're all trying to do is we're all trying to build these guys up to reach their full potential, and you see them take not just little baby steps to reaching their full potential, but you see them take leaps and bounds towards reaching their full potential, and it's something that's incredibly proud, and I think everybody on the team sees it and wants to play their guts out for those guys because they appreciate all the hard work that they've put in over the course of their time here, because it's not easy here. It's not easy academically. It's not easy physically. It's not easy militarily. That there's all different types of things going on. Guys are getting pulled in all different directions, and to get to your senior year and your last home game, that's a major accomplishment and something that needs to be rewarded at a really high level.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
After sitting in that weather in South Bend, the wise man would be pro Boca Raton or San Antonio next year. Scott Wyckoff.
Yeah, Coach, we've all seen the guys who performed for you defensively, the seniors over the last few years. What about the guys that have been the seniors that have performed for you in practice on offense, on the look team?
Yeah.
What they've done for your defense?
Yeah, I think of several guys that really stick out to me that are seniors that have done a great job, whether they're defensive guys for us or offensive guys. I know you probably talk with Coach Cronick and talk about Brady Wine and the things that he's done. I think Jake Lusk, who's played defensive line here, and then we moved over to offensive line to try to get out on the field, and he's actually doing scout team defensive line right now, and he was just he probably hasn't got the playing time. Well, I know he hasn't got the playing time that he ultimately wants, but he has never come out to practice and said, "Oh, woe is me," or anything along those lines, and just been a phenomenal teammate. Those two guys are two guys that really sort of stick out to me, Scott.
And for those guys, do they come to Tuesday and Wednesday? Is that their game day?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And I think, Niamatalolo runs our scout team, and he does it better than anybody I've ever seen anywhere. So like they come in on they come in on Tuesday and Wednesday and have position meetings and literally watch the tape of who they're emulating. He's got a thought of the day for them. I mean, he's pouring into those guys like they are getting coached just like any other position on the football team. And that's, Coach Lewis grabbed me yesterday, and he is like, our scout team's got to be like the best scout team in the country. The way that they go about their work and how they emulate what we're trying to see. There's nothing like it. And it's a testament to the kids, Coach Niamatalolo, Coach Palmer, Coach Wimberly. Those guys work hard with those guys, the TADs, Colin Ramos and Deshaun Peel. But yeah, I mean, that's their time to shine, is go out there and try to moss us or try to run through us and, go from there.
Are there weeks when you get done with the game on Saturday and look back and say that the actual scout team defense played better than the defense that you had playing on the weekend?
There's certainly been individuals that have, and there's been times where the look's been so good. I've just been so impressed with it. So I don't know if they collectively have played an entire football game better, but it's an impressive operation, and it's something I think we take a ton of pride in here. And I think Coach Newberry's done an awesome job. We got a studs and duds list, Scott. So like the studs of the scout team, they get sort of blown up and all that type of stuff. And if you happen to be a dud, which we don't have duds too often, then that's put on blast a little bit too. So nobody wants to be on that dud list. Everybody wants to be on that stud list.
Great. Good luck Saturday.
Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it.
And it should be mentioned that we also have a couple scout team players of the week who end up getting to go to the hotel and dressing for the game on Saturday as well.
Yep, that's always a big deal. And those guys that, if it's not a home game too, it like backloads, if that makes sense. So, we've had a couple road games in a row. So the guys that were scout teams of the week, the last 2 weeks, those guys addressed on Saturday.
PJ, I just got one. We've talked to Alex and Jackson this week about the Friday speeches that the seniors give. What kind of impact do those speeches have on the coaches?
I got chills thinking about them right now, to be honest with you, Scott. Like you try so hard to pour into these guys, and sometimes you don't know if it registers. And like the one thing that drives you crazy coaching here is that you don't get as much time as you'd like with them, just to talk about life, talk about all the things that you enjoy talking to people about. So then, they get up there and they thank their teammates, their coaches, recruiting coach, whoever it is. Every guy's different. We're all different with how we think and how we want to articulate things. But I mean, it's a really special deal. Like, it's something that if you could bottle it up and sell it, you would, man, because it's incredibly special to see these guys and all the hard work, man. Like you think about, like I can remember these guys coming in on I Day, and I remember being in, going to home visit Blake Horvath. Like I remember going to home visit him, and his mom calling me and being like, "Hey, we've never really done this. Do I need to like make like a charcuterie board or something?" Just stuff like that. And then to see, the amount of success that they've had, it's really special. And to the growth, and it's not playing on the field. Like that's a byproduct of all the stuff, but it's the men they become. And like Coach said, we're working really hard to get these guys to reach their full potential and just continue to be men of character and leaders and graduate from this institution, and just they're just another step closer to that, and it's really special. And I don't think anything can make you more proud except for graduation day.
Thank you. Should be pointed out that PJ recruited both team captains. Wags.
Thanks, Scott.
So during his Monday presser, Coach Newberry said in no uncertain terms, quote, our corners have to be better. What can you do? I know you think that Justin Ross and Ira O'Neill and some other guys are talented players. What can you do to help them get where they need to be?
Yeah, I mean, we gotta play the way that we practice, and I think that's really critical. Like Coach Green, Coach Lewis, myself, like we see the capability of those guys, and we see the detail in practice with the techniques, the alignments, the eyes, all that type of stuff. And then occasionally we get in the game and we don't execute at the level that we do at practice, and with the detail that we do in practice. So it's got to become consistent with how we play, and then obviously, we can help them with coverages and disguises and things like that. That's a piece of it. But when you play out there, like you're going to have to guard, you're going to have to tackle, you're going to have to do those things. And we have to get it done at a consistent level, but we've been real inconsistent out there, and it's got to improve.
Well, I believe he was saying that on the heels of talking about the defense against Notre Dame, and he thought it was a solid game plan, and that especially in the first half, you did a good job stopping the run. But part of that game plan entailed the corners having to be in one-on-one coverage a little bit, and that's where Carr got you. Obviously, 13 of 16 completions for 285 yards, 3 touchdowns, pretty efficient deal. So I kind of think that's what he's talking about, is that he felt like it was a solid game plan, and that's where it broke down. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, we had some really good opportunities in the football game that unfortunately we weren't able to take advantage of. and against those guys, if you don't play your A game, and when they give you those opportunities, if you don't make them, like you're going to get exposed. The longer they're on the field, we get them in, third and long situations, and we have guys right there, and aren't quite able to finish, and that's a good offense. Like they're what, number 9 in the country. I mean, they're scoring, 50 points a game, all that type of stuff, or whatever it is, 40 something points a game. They put up 56 on a couple Power 4 teams. Like it's a challenging offense, and it's incumbent on me to put those guys in position that can be successful, and sometimes you're trying to protect one thing and you can't quite protect everybody. But we had some opportunities on third and long. We had some opportunities on a couple of those throws that we'd really like to have back, where you'd like to attack the ball in the air a little bit more, Wags, and have opportunity for interception and get off the field. So, I gotta try to keep putting those guys in better positions, and then we got to be more consistent with our technique and fundamentals.
So last year against South Florida, and granted it was a different quarterback, it was not Byron Brown, but you limited rushing yards. I think it was 60, somewhere in that range. And their quarterback, Archie, he completed around 50% of passes. He got picked off twice. I mean, it was a good, solid defensive performance by Navy. Do you feel like that can be replicated against Brown and not the other quarterback? Do you think that what you all did last year against USF can be duplicated?
Well, it's got to be a different plan, because these guys are like the offense is much different than it was last year. So there's not a lot of real carryover from what we did last year to them. And every time we go out there, that's what we're trying to do, and what we aim to do, and how we're crafting the game plan to get ourselves in positions where we're able to stop the run game, and we're able to take the football away, and get off the field on third down and limit explosive plays and be great in the red zone. Like that's what we aim to do every week when we go out there. And these guys obviously present significant challenges to that. We understand that, we know that, and we're working really hard to be able to accomplish those things so we can have success defensively on Saturday.
Thanks, PJ.
Thanks, Wax.
Wyatt.
Coach, we just heard from Jackson Campbell talk about or reflect on how the idea of having a legacy at this point in the season just doesn't resonate well, because it'll sound like a better story in February. As the defensive coordinator has gotten to know not only the linebackers but this defense so well over the past couple of years, does it give you a lot of confidence to know that this group is really focused on going 1-0 with a few games still to go in the season?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's everything. Like we'll rest and we'll look back at this when it's all over. Like you can't think about anything else other than the task at hand, and put all your arrows towards that task in order to be successful there. Because everybody, this USF team we play is exceptional. They're great, and if we're thinking about anything else other than trying to find a way to win this next rep in practice and have a great Wednesday practice, then we're doing each other a disservice. So that I do take great satisfaction in hearing that from Jackson, speaking that mindset, because that's ultimately what we have to do. It doesn't guarantee you success, but it gives you a shot at it, and that's what we need.
How do you see this defense in practice leading by example as opposed to just leading vocally, especially with senior day here and the importance of fundamentals still being the utmost priority this week?
These guys attack practice like unlike any, and I know I've said it week in and week out, but unlike anybody I've coached, and I'm really, really proud of that from how we operate in practice. We got obviously senior leaders out there, and then we've got a ton of young guys that are playing football for us right now, and we're growing. Maybe not at the rate we all probably want it to be, but we are growing, and you see incremental success. I'm really impressed with practice habits of a lot of guys. And I think our staff does an amazing job making sure the guys understand the importance of practice and the way we need to attack practice for us to improve and get better. And it's always a cliche, Wyatt, like you're either getting better or you're getting worse, all that type of stuff. But it's when I was a player, I didn't really understand what the heck that meant. I was like, man, what you talking about? Like, that doesn't make any sense. But then as a coach, it really is. You start to learn those things, and you just try to impart that wisdom on your players. And when it's a connected message from the top down in every piece of the organization, it starts to permeate through your program and becomes a culture, and that's what's happened here.
What have you learned about this group, especially with the mix of seniors, the mix of first-year starters, handling success well early in the season, but now handling adversity too?
It's 0-0, and we're doing everything we can be to 1-0, to be 1-0. And I've seen nothing that's different from the beginning of the year till right now in terms of the way that we go about our work. It's a blank slate, and we go out there and never too low. And I want to say we get ever too high, but we're probably really, really close out there with our enthusiasm and the way they go about practice. I mean, you got practice yesterday, fourth quarter. I mean, I don't know. It's freezing cold out there. And guys are hooting and hollering and flying around, and we got great reps and guys taking space and tackling and doing the things that we need to do. I mean, we did a bunch of physical football to start practice off yesterday, and then finished with a spirited fourth quarter. I mean, it's just the same way that we got ready for VMI. And there's that tells you how mentally tough they are. There's no loss of enthusiasm or anything like that based on previous results, good or bad.
Good luck this week.
Thanks, Wyatt. Appreciate it.
We've got about 6.5 minutes left. Tim Nolan.
Ooh, time flies when you're having fun.
Yes, sir.
Coach, asked something similar to Jackson, but what are you going to relish the most about this particular senior day? It's going to be another sellout crowd in Annapolis.
Man, I'll probably have to be best answering that post game, to be honest with you. But regardless of the outcome, though, Tim, like try to go out a little early and see the guys with their families, and see them dab up Coach New. Coach New dab them up and their families. I think that's always a pretty special deal, to be honest with you. Enjoy that. And I enjoy them, obviously, their speeches, like Scott talked about on Friday nights. Those are probably the two things I try to take in and really be in the moment there.
Thank you. I'm good.
Scott Wyckoff, take us out. We got 5 minutes.
Coach, what makes Coach Golish such a difficult coach to go up against in what he's done at USF?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a great scheme with really good football players. So, it's a major challenge. They do a variety of things running the football. They do a variety of things throwing the ball, and try to create numbers advantages all across the field. You've got to defend the 53 in the third, but then you got to defend it vertically as well. So they use every blade of grass that you possibly can out there, with a great scheme and really, really good players, and sometimes, you play people and it's one or the other. They got a, average scheme. Well, really in this conference, you don't play anybody with an average scheme. Everybody's got a really good scheme. And to be honest with you, everybody's got doggone good players. USF has exceptional players. They've done a great job recruiting and attracting talent there and developing talent. So I would say, the scheme obviously is challenging because of the amount of space that you have to cover and how they spread you out. But make no mistake about it, like they're a physical bunch, physical football team. I think sometimes people hear, spread and tempo and think like, hey, they're just trying to, do that to throw the ball down the field. Like these guys want to run the ball and control the ball and control the football game. And then, once they think they got you, they'll throw the ball vertically and get it past you with a bunch of fast guys that can run and quarterback that can really deliver the football. So it's a complete operation, if that makes sense.
Have a good practice.
Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, PJ.
See you guys. Thank you.